everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, and this is another special Disc Golf Answer Man interview. Now, we've done a lot of deep diving into some content creators, and I still have some people I want to talk to, but I thought now is the time that we need to start to get to know Team Dynamic Discs, and I thought who better to start with than Mr. Parker Welk, who's already... good job on you, Parker. Already texted me about things he can work on and things he can do for marketing and media. So this guy already knows how to play the game of disc golf, of course, and how to play the game of social media and marketing. But I wanted to get to know him a little bit more, and I thought our listeners would be happy to get to know him as well. First off, Parker, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I am in Wisconsin right now, and beautiful weather, beautiful time to be here. I'm about to play this tournament. So got some time off, ready to give this interview and have some fun with it.
Nice. Now, what part of Wisconsin are you in?
That is a great question. I know I'm just south of Sheboygan. I'm in a town right now. I think it's called Cedarville.
Okay.
That's not where the tournament is happening, but that's just where I am currently.
Nice. My wife has some family in Wisconsin, so I have to tell her that I was talking to somebody who was in Wisconsin.
There you go.
So you're there for a tournament. What tournament are you there for?
It's called the Mayhem Open. We play 3 different courses over 2 days. So Saturday, Sunday, and it's a lot. I mean, 3 courses in 2 days, 2 rounds in a day. You don't really see that too often. So
no, that's kind of old back in the day. They used to do that a lot. So, but before we started recording, you said you literally got there and then got right to the course to start playing. Is that kind of typically what you do when you get to a tournament?
I mean, well, this one was different because I came in on Wednesday night and then instantly had to get a motel, sleep in it, and then drive up to where I'm at now. But normally I'll get here on like a Sunday and then have a lot of time to practice and ease into it. But today I got straight to the courses, played 2 rounds today, and tomorrow I'll probably play 2 again, and just to be ready for the tournament.
Okay, well, while we're on the topic, and we'll get into more getting to know you, but now that we're talking already in the tournament, I thought we'd jump into some strategy stuff, because I think you said you never played these courses before. Am I correct?
Yeah, never played these.
So what is your practice routine? What's kind of going on in your mind when you're getting to a course you've never played before, but now you've got to figure it out? How do you do that? What's your setup?
First thing I do is bust out the good old U disc to get my directions ready, just because a lot of these courses it's not obvious where hole 1 is even, so I'll park in the parking lot and then be like, all right, I see baskets but no idea where hole 1 is, so I'll get out the map. It's really good for getting to courses and finding your way around new courses, so I'll always have that out. But when I'm playing, the mindset is figure out what the heck you're supposed to do. You know, a lot of these are blind shots, so when that happens, you have to walk like halfway down the fairway, maybe pick a couple of trees to be like, okay, I want to go just in front of that one or just around the other one, and that'll be your line for it. And after you throw it, you'll get up to the basket and look behind you towards the tee and actually see what your line should be. Because I think that's something that a lot of people never do, is actually look at the hole in reverse. And I think that opens up a ton more of just lines in general, just to check out on the holes. But that's basically what I'm doing. Throwing multiple shots, throwing multiple putts at each basket, just kind of feeling everything out on what I should be throwing.
Yeah, I like hearing that. That's something we give a lot. That's some advice we give a lot, is to walk the course backwards, because there could be a tree or something you don't see from the tee pad that now all of a sudden you see when you're looking the opposite way. So I think that's fantastic. What do you typically like when you are at each hole? Are you typically throw 1 to 2 discs and you got it figured out? Or are you like one of those guys that like to throw a lot of discs to throw different shots?
I'm probably a type of guy that's as few as possible, which could be probably around 3 at most if I really need to figure it out. But usually for courses, they're not Pro Tour style courses. They're mostly just like kind of shorter, maybe a little more open types of courses where, you're able to just throw, like a 350-foot hyzer shot, and it's pretty stock. So that's what you'll be doing. You'll throw 1 shot and you'll move on. Or a lot of the time it's difficult to even throw multiple shots just because you don't have the same disc in your bag to throw that same shot 3 times. So you'd have to go get it and then walk back. And if you're only comfortable with that disc for that shot, that's a lot of walking, going to get your disc back and forth if you want to do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you're out practicing, you're looking at different shots, looking behind you. Do you typically? I know I've known some players where they literally will write down what they threw. They like take hard notes. Is it more of a mental thing where you try to remember the disc you use on a particular hole?
Yeah, I find it pretty easy to remember. On during my second round today, I kind of just, to be honest, I gave up after like 13 holes, and I started just walking the course. I didn't even throw them just because I've already lost two discs at that point. So I
No.
was pretty frustrated. I found one of them actually, just the other one I didn't find. But I was there for so long searching for discs. I even posted on my Instagram story about how crazy my disc where it was when it landed after the shot that I threw. So, I mean, long day, so just skip
Yeah.
straight through it.
I got you. I got you. All right, let's kind of roll back a little bit and let's get to know you a little bit more. So tell me first how you got into disc golf.
Disc golf has been around my entire life, basically. I was born into the sport. My dad was all disc golf. So was my mom, basically. My dad was the Hawaii State coordinator for the PDGA. So we had baskets in our yard. We had, discs galore, basically. And my dad was like helping make all the courses and running all the events in Hawaii and just kind of being there and being for the community along with a lot of the other guys in Hawaii. It wasn't just him by himself, but, I was just basically born into it, all the way just through my life. Just it was always there for me.
Yeah, what were who were some of the big influences for you as you got into disc golf?
Yeah, well, it was weird. I think instead of me seeing pros and like learning about pros, it was more like just something fun that I did with my friends, and it stayed that way all the way up until like much later in my disc golf career, where I actually started learning pros' names and um, started really following along a little bit with it. But during the start, it was just hanging out, having fun, and just really having a good time. You'll see, I didn't play a lot of events in Hawaii because there really wasn't a PDGA. It was more of a Hawaii Disc Golf Association, which is fake. So we played a bunch of those, and I think I have like two state titles, which are junior titles, but I was like the only one. I was just battling like three other kids that were just my friends, so
Yeah.
of course I won those, but those don't count. You'll never see those on my PDGA.
Okay, so when did you come over here to where you could play more tournaments? What year was it?
2016 is when I moved to California, and I didn't really even take it serious then. I was just a skater. I didn't really care about anything, I was just skating and surfing here and there, but the water in California is definitely a lot colder than Hawaii, so I wasn't too much of a fan of that. But I guess it was 2018 maybe is when I like started playing a little more tournaments. I actually just looked at my stuff last night to see like when did I actually even start making money playing disc golf, or when did I start playing all these leagues, and I think it was around 2018 is what it said, maybe 2019, but it was just like a sudden jump really, and
So yeah,
it
so
was
back to that, said you're a surfer, skater. Like, what made you want to look into disc golf and get more serious about it?
well, it wasn't until I moved to Huntington Beach. I was living in Costa Mesa, which is like right next to Huntington Beach, but I never really, played disc golf at Huntington Beach. I was kind of just doing my own stuff and doing other things. But it was, I guess, my friends and the people that run Huntington Beach, they really were just so kind to me. It's normally a pay to play course. They would always let me play for free. If I needed anything, they would give me discs. I think they really saw something in me, and they really liked having me around. I'd always go play the leagues at that point, and my friends, I guess Cupcake was a big influence in playing disc golf. He was always like my right hand man. If we were playing disc golf, all right, let's text Cupcake and go play, Huntington Beach or David L. Baker or something to go play the leagues. And there's a few other guys that also kind of pushed me. Some locals like Kyle Ekman, and I'm sure you've heard Tommy Ekman's name perchance. So the Ekman brothers were always really a big influence on me. And the Spores that run the disc golf in Huntington Beach, those guys are really solid as well. So just the community is really kind of what brought me to it, and making like a little bit of money here and there. That's really cool.
Yeah, what was the first event that you accepted cash?
Man, I don't even know, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I really don't know because I think I've played MPO like basically the entire my entire disc golf career. You know, I've played MA1. I don't even
Yeah.
think I played MA2 to be honest. I played
Yeah.
MA1 a few times, but I kind of just immediately jumped to MPO basically as soon as I could.
Yeah, that's interesting. You used to talk to players where they played amateur for quite a while, and then they decided to move pro. But it is interesting to talk to some of these, some of you younger guys, where you make it a much faster trip to the pro side. So, when did you actually start, like, just actually touring? Was it from the get go where you decided to get on the road and go play some of the top events?
Absolutely not. I mean, you'll see in my thing, I played like maybe one or two each year, starting from like 2019 or something. But you know,
Yeah.
I didn't go on tour until 2023. So I had maybe I played my first event was the San Francisco Safari in 2018, and I played
Yeah.
one pro tour event that year, and then maybe one or two, you know, like Goat Hill or something like an A tier where it's basically a pro tour almost, but you know, just like here and there. But it wasn't until 2023 that I really made that jump, and I actually hit up my friend Jake Brown, and I wasn't gonna do the tour by myself, so I hit him up and I was like, "Yo, dude, let's go on tour," and he was just like, "All right, let's go." So we both got into like all the events, and it really paid off
Yeah.
making that jump, and he still
So what?
tours to this day as well. So.
No, so describe to us what tour life is like. What's it like to go on tour for disc golf?
I think it differs with each pro. For me personally, I kind of split my time. I really enjoy being friends with basically everyone. So I'll sometimes stay in my van at the course, or I usually stay with my friends at Airbnbs. I guess my main crew would probably be like Anthony Barella, Paul Ulibarri, Adam Hammis, Jake Brown, Austin Turner. Those guys are the guys I normally stay with Airbnbs, but you know, I just enjoy hanging out with everyone. So a lot of
Nice.
the time, van life is pretty fun as well.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about some competitive play. What's your favorite tournament and course you've played so far?
Man, it's I don't think anything really beats stepping up to hole one at Maple Hill.
Yeah.
There's really not a better starting hole, I don't think, than Maple Hill hole one with the bleachers right there and the crowd, and you're just gonna have to unleash this giant drive over the water. It it's a whole new environment. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah. Are you more of a wooded golfer or open?
I I think I tend to perform better in the open, but I can't really consider myself either or. I think I'm like pretty good at both. You know, I'm not great at either, but I think like pretty good at both. I don't think I'm maybe open just a little bit more, but you know.
All right, so I'm looking at some of your stats here. 2022, you mentioned it was kind of a grind year for you. Kind of unpack that for us. What do you mean by it was a grind year?
Yeah, 2022 was the year before I actually made the jump on tour. That was kind of my putting my foot in the door with all these tournaments. And, you know, I wasn't playing a whole bunch on tour. I don't know, can you count how many there are? I know that's not a whole lot, maybe
Yeah,
four or something, but
yeah,
played a ton of A tiers. You'll see, I played a lot of events in 2022 just to really see what it was like, you know, and playing all those A tiers, it's like a mini tour, but, you know, I didn't really go too far. I think Arizona was probably the furthest I went to from California, besides maybe, I don't know, I guess that would have to be it. I don't really think I went anywhere too crazy. Maybe Colorado. I'm not sure.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, just some small stuff, really. You know, I wasn't like driving and staying in cars. I was just flying out and, you know, staying with friends for the week and then flying home. It wasn't
During
like I
that,
was continuously going out and being away from
yeah.
everything for months at a time, you know.
What would you say was the hardest course that year that you played?
Hardest course that I played that year. That's a tough one. I'm really not too sure. I don't even know which events I even really played. It had to have been a Pro Tour event. Whatever Pro Tour event I played in 2022 was probably the hardest event that I played.
Okay. Well, I bet you remember the one you won in 2023. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, definitely remember that one.
So tell me about that. What was it
Yeah,
like playing that event, and then of course going on to win it?
yeah. I mean, I really like Emporia for what it is. I went to Worlds the year before as well. I guess that would probably be the hardest event. Obviously, would be Worlds. Duh. I don't know why I didn't think of that. But going into the place, I have family that lives about two, maybe 1.5 hours south of Emporia in Iola, Kansas. So
Hmm.
I've always really liked just being in Kansas and Emporia. It's so cool showing up and having the entire town be so much into disc golf, so much invested into it with their signage. You walk into a Subway and they're just like, "Oh, you're here for the tournament," and you're like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool." Um, but Emporia really does it right, and just being there, it really feels like a pro tour is going to happen there. And showing up to that event, it was no different. Stayed in a hotel for probably my first time that entire year because I was staying in a truck and trailer with my tour partner Jake, and we ended up getting a hotel with AC, and it was so nice, and it was a lot different. So got some good rest, and I didn't really think of anything that first day. I didn't really get much practice going into that event. I think I had one round, maybe one round. Yeah, it was one round, and didn't think too much of it, and kind of went out there, and the course really fits my game. Super powerful sidearm, and decently powerful backhand. And with that combination on like an open golfish style course, it's gonna make for low scores. So I ended up shooting like I think it was a 9 down or something like that round one, and just snuck on lead card. I think I was the last person on lead card, so it was really cool. And I got a bunch of texts from my friends and everything saying, "Dude, you're gonna be on coverage. It's so cool!" And posting about it, and
Yeah.
just
So
a
does
whole
that
lot of
add
fun.
pressure to you to be
Yeah,
know that
it
you're going
was
to be filmed?
I was excited. No, I
Yeah.
love being on camera. I really wish that we had a little bit more opportunity rather than the top like 10 guys that are always consistently on coverage. I wish I got another shot at it because I always think that I play better on camera because I'm more of a showman on camera, and I'll do some cooler stuff for you. I don't know. Jump through a tree or like I did round two that time. But after round two, I was like, oh, I'm still in it. This is crazy. And I think my tour partner Jake, I had to take him to the course every morning because it was his first time on tour. He was only playing for 3 years at that point, or 2.5 years at that point, so he was still like super new to disc golf, and he's playing all these tour events. So ended up taking him pretty early for his tee time, and he would get done and come hang out and watch me play, and it was super cool. And played that round three, and no different. There's something about that weekend, just absolutely smashed everyone. It was so much fun.
Who was on the final round lead card with you?
It was me, Alden Harris, Matty O, and Calvin Heimberg, I believe.
Oh, some big guns, huh? Now what does that do? Now I've heard the whole theory of when you play with that caliber of player, it either intimidates you or it makes you elevate your game. Where are you on that?
I'll be honest. In 2023, my first event, Waco, I played really well the first two rounds. Going into the final round, I was in like 10th place or something like that. I don't really remember, but it was like really good for my first event on tour, basically. And I was nervous. There was a camera crew right in front of me. Maybe I was in fourth card or something, but just camera crews. I had all the pros there, and I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know any of these guys. And one pro that did come up to me was Garrett Gerthy, actually, and he just said like, "Yo, dude, like, congrats on the good play," or something like that, and that's always stuck with me. And I've always really liked Garrett Gerthy just because of that one time he came up to me, had no idea who I was, and congratulated me on some good play. But I really wasn't nervous after playing with all of these guys for the half of a year at that point. So I got to know them all pretty well, and I wasn't really that outgoing my first year on tour as I am now, but you play with enough people where it's like, everyone's pretty friendly for the most part. So nothing was really intimidating going into that final round or even playing with those guys that day.
What do you think the difference is making you more outgoing this year as opposed to years before?
That's a great question. I'm not sure. I guess just the realization that you're here for a reason. It's you. Everyone wants to do what you're doing. There's million. I mean, not millions. There's a lot of people that would love to tour. everyone wants to be in my position, going out there each week and competing with the best of the best, and I get to do it. So there's just absolutely no way I'm gonna stay quiet and just keep to myself. So I'm gonna every time I see anyone, I'm always hanging out with people, or if you ever see me, just say hi. People don't really recognize me too much, but once they see like, oh, you're the kid that jumped through the tree, then it's like, yeah, that's awesome, super cool. So it's a
That's
ton of
cool.
fun.
Yeah. So what is your routine like after the practice? Are you typically the kind of guy that likes to just play video games or watch TV? What do you do to unwind when you're not disc golfing?
Hmm. I mean, every time I go home, I'll go home for like 1 week basically, and like I did this past week, and I'll just kind of chill out and hang out by the pool and try and get my tan on a little bit and get rid of the farmer's tan that we get when we're on tour.
Yeah.
And I'll play some video games as well. I just built a computer from scratch this past week, so I'm a bit of a gamer as well. We're a pretty big techie guy, so I really enjoy that stuff. But mostly just chilling
Yeah.
when I'm not playing disc golf.
Gotcha. Let's see. Let's get some off the course questions too. What's the weirdest thing or funniest thing that's ever happened to you during a round?
My goodness, it happened recently, but I don't even know if I could say it. We were talking about I was on a card with me, Big Germ, Paul Ulibarri, and Greg Barsby at
Uh,
the Discmania Challenge, and we were talking about some band names that Barsby listens to.
oh my
And
God, I can
Germ,
imagine.
Big Germ said the craziest thing ever. It was a band name, but it was a fake band name, just asking Barsby if he's ever heard of it. And I'm not going to repeat it, but it was hilarious. But I don't think I could say it. But
So
definitely,
they were talking this way like during the actual round?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with those guys, it's so much fun. Those
Yeah.
three guys are just such a blast to play with, and having them all on the same card. I don't even think we were playing that good. It was just like we all just
Yeah.
happened to be on the same card, and ton of people were following us. It was such a good time there at the Discmania Challenge.
Do you find yourself what type of card do you prefer? One that likes to talk or one that you rather just kind of just put your head down and play the game?
I think the most fun I have is when I play with like Silas Schultz, and we're always talking to each other. So I think I'm more of a guy that would like to be on a card that's like talking to each other, and I think that's not really too common unless you have like your entire card is that way. Because otherwise, like if one person is like really quiet, then you're just kind of like, all right, let's be quiet today, whatever. We don't want to mess him up.
Yeah.
But it's rare. But when it happens, it's so much fun being on that card where everyone's talking and enjoying time.
Yeah, it's always interesting when I'm hanging around players and they look at the tee times and then they look to see who they're playing with and to get the reaction like, oh, I get to play with him again. Oh, joy. It's like it's almost like you guys start to know your personalities and what kind of round you're going to have. It's always funny to hear. So on that, do you have any disc golf like pet peeves?
Um, Not really. I mean, for example, this weekend we're playing a course where the benches are literally on the tee pads, and I guess it can be kind of one of my pet peeves is when someone is like literally just so close to you on the tee box and you can feel their presence. But I mean, it's like not big at all. I'll still throw with them there, but that's just something that I like. That's in my mind that I can think about that can be kind of an annoyance.
Yeah. So do you get distracted really easy on your drives and your putts?
No, I think I'm probably one of the more mentally solid people on tour. If someone's moving in the background, it does not matter. You could be talking, it does not matter. Um, I guess I've kind of gotten to this point where, my practice card crew is like always talking no matter what, always cracking jokes, always moving. So, kind of got used to it by this point.
Yeah. What's your opinion on? Because I just thought of something off this. Because you said you like to be on camera and have fun. So I feel like you're the kind of guy that appreciates the guys out there taking photos and recording video while you're playing. But I did see something on, I can't remember which Facebook group it was, but someone posted a picture where you could see a cameraman on the left and the right in front of the tee pad, right? And me as the guy that captures it, I try to be as stealth as I could, when I was out there doing tournament coverage. But there's sometimes you just got to be there to get the great looking action, and it's kind of a balance between not distracting the player because he has a job to do, but I also have a job to do, and also getting you the right, something that looks cool and looks nice as far as a picture or video, but then again, not also disturbing the player. So what are your thoughts? Do you think that maybe sometimes they go overboard, the media people, or are you good with it?
I saw that post. I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about, and I think the guy that posted it, I'm gonna be in his area next week, so I can't say anything bad. No, I'm joking. But I do disagree a little bit about what he said. I think that none of the Pro Tour players care. I don't think that they think that they're in the way as long as they're staying still. Because if you're like directly in front of someone and then you move right when they throw, you're an object. You're gonna get hit, you know. But if you're staying still, you know, if you're in the front but you're not in the airspace where the disc is flying, then I don't think it's too big of an issue. And I think I think the people at home are more important than, you know, the person that's throwing the disc. I guess there's, you know, 100,000 people watching online or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
and there's one person throwing the disc that probably doesn't even care that the cameraman's there.
yeah. I think it's one of those things, like I said, where the player has a job to do, the media guy has a job to do, and they have an understanding. I've had players ask me to, when I'm behind them and they're going to do a long run up, I've had, they look back at me and say, "Hey, can you give me a room?" Sure, no problem. Or I've been in their line of, not necessarily, I try to stay out of their line of sight, but I've had people where I was off to the side and they've asked me, "Hey, I'm about to throw that way." I didn't realize. Thankfully, I've been doing it long enough. I can almost tell where they're going to throw, and then based on even the player, I can go, I bet he's going to do a sidearm, or he's going to do this, right? So I try to be not in their line, but there's times where I misguess what they're going to do, and they ask me, "Hey, I'm about to throw that way. Can you move?" And what's nice is people know me. They'll literally say, "Hey, Bobby, I'm giving you a throw right there." So that's always nice. But one time that I messed up, I can't remember where I think it was a Worlds. And do you remember David Feldberg? It was his girlfriend from way back when. Anyway, it was me, Robert McCall, and Jeremy Rusko. And we were walking. I cannot remember. I wish I could remember the course, but we were walking a course, and we walked over this little bridge, and there was a lot of holes everywhere. But we were trying to navigate not being in people's way, and we happened to stop to watch somebody putt over in front of us. We're not realizing that the young lady was putting behind us, and all of a sudden we realized where we're at. And I was going to try to move out of the way, and Robert and Jeremy said, "Sit still." And so I was like, I stayed real still, and she goes, "Can you move?" And I was like, and they were like, "Sit still." And I was like, and she goes, "Fine, don't move," and just putts. Oh, it was not a good situation. So
Yeah, I had
anyway,
something similar to that in Junior Worlds in Emporia, actually at Jones Park.
yeah.
What was I? I was 15. No, wait, what was I? I don't know, but I was super young, and I literally just walked straight across. I don't, you know where the playground is?
Yeah.
So there's like where the lake is, and then there's those two holes that kind of intercept. I don't know, but I walked right past this basket as this guy's putting, and he's like, "Dude, what the heck?" And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I have no idea what I'm doing, bro."
Now, admittedly, I have walked in front of a fairway and like didn't even realize that the people were down the way in the tee pad, and they just kind of looked at me and just kind of like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
"Man,
it
I don't
happens
even know."
for sure.
It does happen. It does happen. All right. So, okay. So we're going to go through your bag real quick, kind of a quick look at your bag. But tell me, though, what's inside your bag that you carry that's like snacks or lucky items? What's the non-disc stuff you put in your bag?
I I have a rangefinder. They're pretty useful if you're playing, you know, a course you haven't played before. Rangefinder for sure. I have, you know, some dry bags, keep my hands chalky and grippy. Some snacks, I guess. You know, I'm not a huge snacker, but I guess beef jerky would probably be my go-to on the course, just because, you know, it's easy and fills you up pretty good. You don't want to be starving on the course.
Get you some good
Mm,
protein too.
yep, yep, yep. What else? Always got
Any
to have
flavor?
some
Any
water in
particular
there.
flavor teriyaki or just regular?
I think my go-to lately has been peppered.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but I think I want to No, I'm gonna stick with peppered or even
Okay.
original, but
Okay.
nothing too crazy. I don't like to get too crazy with it.
Sure. All right, run us through your bag real quick. Real quick. Let's start with drivers. What do you got? What's your go-to drivers?
Right now, generals,
Uh,
enforcers, basically. That's pretty much it.
what are you throwing them for? What kind of flight you trying to get out of them?
My enforcers are way more overstable than my generals. So for those, it's like wind shots, or if I need to go like left really quickly or hard or throw a skip shot, enforcers coming out. But if I just need to throw a long bomber shot or a shot that, it needs to fly like a fairway driver, but needs to go a little further, then I'll pull out the general because it's been really, really good to me having that disc. But those are two just easy shot shapes that go with those two.
All right, let's club down. What do you like? What do you get throwing for your fairways?
Fairways are Felon and Explorer and Bear right now.
Ah,
So I got overstable, straight, and understable.
yeah. Now, are you the felon? Now, my understanding with the felon, I don't obviously throw felon because I had a weak arm and I can't handle that overstability. But for the big guns, though, I feel like there's like a different levels of felon. Like there's some that are pretty overstable, some that aren't quite overstable. Where are you in that?
I have two right now. I have one that's Omega overstable. It's pretty ridiculous. It doesn't even fly. It like literally just goes left. And then I have a little bit of a straighter one, which I only have one of. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna have to send you a message, see if you can find one in the shop. It's hiding somewhere.
Okay.
But I was given it 2 weeks ago by a guy I was staying with, and really like that Felon. So I'm gonna see if I can get another one of those. It's definitely a little bit straighter, but it's reliable. So that's what I really like. And then for Explorers, it's kind of just a straight fairway for me. I think for slower arm speeds, it's probably gonna be a little more overstable. But when I'm throwing it hard, it'll just go straight, maybe even bend a little bit for me. But mostly just what it is, just a straight fairway. And then
No,
Bear
I'm
is
not
what I
familiar with
really
the bear.
like.
Yeah, what's that all about? I'm not familiar with that.
Well, man, it is such a good disc actually. I don't know who introduced it to me, um, but every time I throw it, it just seems to work. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like, I guess, a little more understable than uh, what the one I have is. But mine, like, I could pump on it on hyzer, it's gonna flip up flat and go straight, maybe bend right. Or if I throw it flat, it'll just turn over to the right and just keep going right forever. But it goes so far. I was really impressed with the Bear for sure.
Nice. All right, let's go mids.
Mids, I have two in my bag right now. I have the Parker Welk Truth, and then I have the Splatter Justice.
I love the way that splatter looks on the Justice.
Yeah, I got that one just because it looked really cool and I wanted to do a video with it. And then I started throwing it and I'm like, dude, this is like the perfect stability.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's such a bonus when a disc looks that cool and it flies really well. So really
All right,
stoked
so
with
you,
it.
you got your Tour Series Truth. What's that? What do you use that for?
Pretty much everything except for super overstable shots. So the thing I like about the Truth in general is just it flies however you throw it. You throw it on hyzer, it goes left, and hyzer, it goes right. You throw it flat, it goes straight. So it's definitely a super workable disc, and that's kind of why I only carry two mids, is because my two mids already do everything.
Yeah, has that always been your style as far as having minimal mids or?
Not really. I think
Yeah.
just with dynamic discs, it's been so easy finding discs that you're just rely on, and it's just so easy to pick those two out and just be like, okay, this is all I need. That's awesome. There's not a lot of other discs out there that you could find a disc that even does stuff like that. So I'm pretty happy to have chosen that as my tour series. I'm pretty stoked just because of the way it flies and how well it flies.
Nice. All right, so putters. Do you have a throwing putter or just straight up just putting putters?
I got a few additions right now. I think I have a premium plastic. Oh no, it's not. What is it? It's brand new. Someone literally just gave it to me. It's a flippy putter. What is it? Dynamic discs.
Flippy putter. Not well.
Just
There's
start
the
naming
deputy.
putters. Deputy. It's a deputy.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So I got a premium plastic deputy. It's really old, I think, but someone just gave it to me. Love it. It's perfect for those like hyzer flip and then really go right. So
Yeah.
have that. And then the same person also gave me a Maiden, which is kind of just a super straight putter, also premium plastic. and then I throw a harp as well for that like slightly more overstable slot.
Nice. And then you're putting with.
The EMAC Judge. It is literally the best putter I have ever felt in my entire life. It is insane how well those fly.
Nice. Very cool. Now, how often are you the kind of guy that likes to change in and out your discs as far as how they get beat in, or you like to just, how are you with that as far as in and out of discs?
So I typically I'd like to just keep them all in my bag, but
Yeah.
I tend to lose discs more frequently this year than ever. I don't know why, but I've been throwing those Christmas Generals, so like the red and green ones, and they just kind of blend in a little bit. So I just tend to leave those in the middle of the fairway. But that's about the only disc that I've really been swapping in and out just because I lose it. But everything else, it seems to keep stability pretty nicely. And so the only time I'll swap out is if I throw one in the water or if I just leave it on the course somewhere.
Any particular molds you're testing out or trying out to see how it works? Or are you pretty set for a while?
I've been throwing the heist a bit more actually, and it's I kind of want to implement it for like giant turnover shots or maybe even rollers, to be honest. But I need to grab a few more of those for sure to get more testing done because I just gave away my last one, which was cool. But for that giveaway, the guy sent me his address and he lived 5 minutes, probably like 7 minutes from me,
Shut up, really?
literally.
That's cool.
And he lived in like this apartment complex that my wife wanted to move into, and he like invited us over to go check out the place and stuff, and it was like really cool. It was awesome how that worked out.
I'm waiting for mine still because I
Yeah, you
remember
need to
you
get
picked
yours.
my name at the beginning. So
I couldn't believe it landed on you. I really couldn't believe that.
I thought you at first. I was like, dude, he's just being goofy. But I was like, no, it really
No,
did land on
he
that. That's
literally
crazy.
landed on you. I was dead serious.
That's crazy. Okay, so if people don't know, if they didn't follow you, he was doing a heist giveaway, and then you were using some sort of spin wheel to help choose the people that commented or liked your post or something.
All you had to do was leave a comment on it. You didn't even have
Yeah.
to tag anyone. It was so easy to get that win under your belt. And yeah, threw it in a random name generator wheel thing and got 3 winners because Dynamic Disc actually hooked it up and put 2 more in there.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you
so
want
it
to
was good
definitely
stuff.
be following me. Want to definitely be following Dynamic Discs because sounds like the giveaways are really good.
Yeah. All right. So what's the plans for the rest of the year? What's the rest of your year look like?
Basically same old, same old. I'm not in Europe right now, obviously. Although I'm like getting a little bit of FOMO. I really want to be playing Worlds, but it just sometimes you just need to get your passport, and
Yeah.
not everyone has their passport.
No. Every time you need to get your passport.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty bummed I never got that. But it's okay because I mean I'm doing like this little A-tier tour now thing, and I got to go home to see my wife more frequently now, so I'll be back in a couple weeks to Arizona again, and but for the rest of the year it's basically just grinding, touring. Can't wait for the East Coast stuff because love it. It is so pretty. And I'm hoping to get another win under the belt here really soon. I know I'm so close to it. I am so
Yeah.
close. I just gotta do it. Gotta do it.
Yeah, I'll see you at Idlewild, right, in Kentucky.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll see out there. We're going to be doing some
For
more
sure,
stuff
yeah.
out there. Okay, so now the rest of the year, right? But what does Parker want to see in the next between now and the next 5 years? Are we still in disc golf, or what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of depends on, I guess, my performance really, or where I'm at in disc golf, whether it's, social media style or if it's competing. Because disc golf has been so good to me and it's been part of my family my entire life. So, I mean, I'd really love to keep touring, and I'd like to get my wife on tour with me as well so she can experience it and just keep doing what I'm doing. I think I'm doing a great job of talking to people and really introducing the sport to a lot of people. There's even a couple guys today, they were playing for their very first time, and I told them to throw a disc, and they threw it, and they're like, same disc, same thing. But it's like, they only threw it like 30 feet. It's like, whatever. But it was
Right.
it's cool. It's like just meeting new people, hanging out with everyone, just being a fun guy to be around. That's kind of what I really enjoy being.
Yeah. Do you have, I mean, obviously the goal is to win every event, right? But is there anything that drives you as far, or I guess, do you have milestones or anything that you say, okay, once I achieve that, I'm going to keep going. If I don't achieve that, then I'm going to make a different decision. Does that question make sense?
Yes, but I like, yeah. I mean, I have it in my mind. I don't know if I could say it.
No, if you don't
Um,
want to share it, that's fine. That's fine.
yeah, no, I'll keep it to myself. But there
Yeah.
definitely is goals. There's milestones. And we could talk about it off camera for sure.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
on camera, I'm gonna keep it to myself.
I can
But
respect that.
there's definitely goals. But it's
Yeah.
so weird, getting that win on my first year on tour. So it's like that's everyone's goal, and I did it my first year. So it's like, what's next?
Wow.
And it's
Yeah,
only it's,
that's interesting. Do you think that winning so soon, it's on such a big platform, is it looking back? I mean, obviously you love to win, but and it's only been, well, it's been a couple years, but do you think that helped or maybe hurt you?
I think that if I didn't get that win, I probably wouldn't be touring. So I do believe that you can look at it as negative, but overall it's going to be positive because I literally wouldn't even be here, I don't believe, if it wasn't for that win.
Really? So do you think that, but do you think it put more pressure on you or just gave you more drive to keep going?
Maybe a little bit of both, actually.
Yeah.
Right now, it's kind of like Parker is the guy that got really lucky, and I don't want that to be the way I'm seen. So that's another thing that's gonna keep me going is I need that second win. I'm gonna get that second win. It's just a matter of time and putting all the pieces together. And I've really been doing a lot of work on my form and just preparing myself for Ledgestone as the next Pro Tour event. So I'm ready for it. I'm gonna take another one down hopefully this year.
Nice. I love it. All right. Well, all right, Parker, tell me where people can follow you so they can check out more of your journey.
My main posting stuff is on Instagram. So if you have Instagram, just look up Parker Welk, or my tag is Disc Goat. Do a little bit of YouTube here and there. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more YouTube stuff when all of my friends are in one place, during the off season, or maybe even on tour a little bit more. So Parker Welk on YouTube, or maybe it's a Disc Goat again. I'm not sure. But yeah, just a couple of places where you can find me posting really good content and having fun while I'm doing it for sure.
All right, so you're going to start a new tradition. I'm going to steal this from another podcast that I watched, Diary of a CEO. So when I've been asking content creators, I wanted to give them the opportunity to ask me any question they want to ask, right? But for players, I'm going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to have you give me the question, the next player. I'm not even sure who it is going to be, but I'm going to start it with you. What question do you have for this next player? And they're not going to know until the very end. And then, of course, they'll have to think of a question.
Well, I mean, how crazy can it get?
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like, what's your favorite? I don't want it to be anything. I want it to be something.
No. I'm not thinking like that. I'm thinking like.
It could be as crazy as you want it to be.
Oh man, when is the question going to happen during the interview?
It'll happen at the very end. I'm going to tell them the same.
Okay.
I'm going to tell them that, okay, I want you to think of a question, but before that, I need you to answer this question that the last person, now, of course, I'll tell them, say who it is, but they won't know the question until the very end.
I mean, is it controversial to say who's your favorite player to play with and least favorite player to play with on tour?
Who is your, let me type it down, favorite and least favorite?
Because now I'm thinking
player to play with. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they answer it. They may have to plead the fifth. I don't know.
They're probably going to skip. I would assume they're going to skip.
Yeah. But yeah. They're going to ask if they get a pass. Do I get a pass?
Yeah.
No, that's all good. So, all right. Well, Parker, I appreciate you taking the time in your evening. I know it's tough being on the road and then, of course, trying to get your practice in and then get your rest in. So I'll let you go. But thank you so much for being on the show. And I know that people are going to see more from you, of course, on your Instagram and YouTube channels. I'll put those in the description of the episode as well so they can click or tap and follow that. But of course, you and I have already been talking. We're going to be creating some stuff together. I'm super excited about getting some plans together for Idlewild. I don't know if we'll do some practice rounds or some challenge videos. I think practice rounds, because I think that's really going to be the best way for people to get to know you more and get to know what's in your head more. So we may just set up a practice round where I mic you up and just kind of walk you around like I did with some of the players back in the day. So I'm excited about that, so people can get to know you a bit better. So, but I'll let you get about your evening. But I appreciate you being on the show.
Right on. Thanks, Bobby. I'll see you later.